Hey everyone, and welcome to the Assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice, a fun RPG game where we fight fascists and do our best to survive in our fantasy world as best we can. Let's dive right in with beliefs this week. Yeah, Kaz, do you have a belief?
Uh, I have a couple that I'm deciding between. Could we come back to me, maybe?
Sure. Faye, do you have a belief? And by Faye, I mean Juniper.
Yeah. Okay, so my belief, Juno's going to try to take what old Zaka said to heart more and start trying to put down more roots in Racy. So I'm caught between her trying to organize like members of the temples or Lady Iria's contacts to engage in rebuilding efforts or water purifying efforts, um, or if she should go to Samhain to try to see if there are any gods in Samhain's giant deck of gods that might like counteract the plague. I'm caught between those two. I can't decide.
Sounds good. Do you have a preference?
Like organization and stuff is necessary, and I think would help make the new order of the ocean, or whatever we will call ourselves, more secure.
NOO? No!
The no will be more secure. I don't know what it would do for like gameplay though, whether that would be something we would actually do in game, or whether that would just be something that's going on in the background.
We can make it happen in game. Building scenes are fun.
Yeah. And I think maybe the plague would be closer to when Oceana is getting close.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm caught. I think everybody is in a weird place with their beliefs right now.
I think that's very true. I think doing some building and laying down some roots is a good one.
Okay.
I think that'll work effectively this week. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thomas, hey.
Hey. So this week his belief, sorry, I'm not doing the thing where I talk slow on purpose. I'm just trying to like organize my thoughts. This week has been like a fog of thinking straight.
You're telling me, God, what a week already. And
Yep.
I don't even know what day it is. I don't care.
But I think that he is concerned about external threats to Oceana's ability to get there with the whole fleet, with the grain, seeing as how they're sailing from Terra Vest in the middle of a war with Terra Vest, and just also the fact that there are, people out there who probably have their eye on her regardless. So he is going to try to take steps to try to warn people off of her in a certain way. He's got an idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so your goal is to protect Oceana and the shipment.
Yes.
By aggressively going after certain people who could be in a position to thwart this shipment.
As aggressively as we do anything in this game, yes.
Sounds good. Samhain. Come back to you as well.
The thing I think I want to focus on today for Samhain, since is the shipment coming in today?
No.
Okay.
We've got time.
So never mind. I will put a pin in that.
Great.
Actually, wait, no, I actually should probably actually do this today. Samhain is going to basically take credit for the shipment of grain that's coming in. So he's going to tell Magli that while he hasn't exactly made space for himself on the council yet, he wanted to make an effort in good faith before doing what he has to do.
Intriguing.
I guess. To prove that he's more competent than the current cadre of people he's like, excluding Mela. Like, he's not gonna cast like direct shade on Mela, but he's like, you got a god in your service, and you have like this avatar of another god, and together they're incompetent bubbles compared to me. So...
I like it. I think that's cool. Gods suck compared to me, says Samhain.
This is Samhain using a god himself.
I mean, Yeah. Beautiful. Kazan.
Okay, so I think I'm just gonna focus on what she has the most control over. So I want to work on furthering the group's goals of stabilizing Racy by talking to Tiri and getting her the food and seeing just what the general needs are and how I can help.
Beautiful. I love that. Excellent. Okay. So I think we start in the not false, but temporary reprieve that is Old Zaka. These green, lush, overgrown forests, moss covering the ground. It's the sort of place you can go barefoot easily because everything is soft. Stream trickles by nearby, very lovely. And you all have had sort of a relaxing day there. Forced to, partially, by Juno, and her lack of multiple fifth level spell slots. But still, there's a peace in this day trip. There's a simplicity and an elegance. There's a what would you say? Fresh croissants. And root beer, because apparently that's what they drink. And the people there are very friendly and nice. They're warm. They chat with you. They're happy to talk about Old Zaka. They're happy to talk about the world. They're a little detached from everything. Officially they're part of Sunera, but they're not a political force in Sunera. They're more of a side thing. And so they're not super interested in like the politics of the world. But they're happy to tell you that they're fans of the Grand Accord, and the Order of Starlight in particular. Does anyone have any conversations that they want to have while they're there? Anyone they want to talk to? I don't feel a need to play out 8 hours of relaxation, but if someone would like to play a little bit of relaxation, I don't think that's a bad thing. And if someone has a tense conversation they want to have in the middle of this day or at the end of this day, that sounds reasonable too.
I would ask if Sawin could identify my my juniper stick.
Yeah. Since we're kind of chilling, I'm gonna do it as a 10-minute ritual.
Sounds good.
So I don't expend a spell slot because I'm gonna be that asshole today.
That's fine. I mean, you're not. Yes, because spell slots are a thing that we have to worry about sometimes. It's true. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, the branch is a spellcaster's focus. But it has a weird ability attached to it. It allows you to extend the duration of spells substantially. In fact, it allows you to double the duration of any spell easily. For this to work, a spell has to have a duration. Although technically it actually works with other things as well, but doesn't really do much, right? A fireball extended in duration is 2 instants rather than 1, but maybe it's prettier when you do it. But that's its basic core ability, the ability to extend duration. It also acts again as a spellcasting focus.
Yeah, he'll share all of that with Juno. He goes, damn, I wish I got that.
I know Juno is going to be knitting a little holster for this now. Like, this is going to be a whole thing.
I love it. I love it. Kaz, you didn't speak to the tree.
Nope.
Didn't want to?
No.
Didn't want to know what she would say?
Yeah.
Totally
Kind
fair.
of not wanting to know.
Totally fair. I've often not wanted to know things.
Yeah.
There's something I can empathize with hardcore. Okay. Well, you are thanked by the people who live at the tree. It's a little confusing why they thank you. You are the visitors there, but they thank you nonetheless. And when they do it, you feel that they are being genuine, like warmly thanking you for your presence and coming to spend time with the tree. Like, that is meaningful to them. And Juno is then ready to take you back.
Okay. So Juno is going to walk them back to the teleportation circle. Or, well, no, she can just make her own, can't she?
You could, although it's cheaper to do it at the teleportation circle.
Yeah, we're gonna do it at the she likes her chalks as they are. So yeah, she'll take them to the teleportation circle, and as they're on the way, she'll be like, "So I think the speaker of the trees knows me."
How do you mean?
Like from before knows me?
Do you know them?
No, I don't remember anybody. But they're not saying anything because the tree said it wasn't time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tree says a lot of things.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. He like steals a tissue.
Oh yeah, and by the way, like while she was sleeping, she totally would have allowed Thomas and Sawin to pet her ears, but only her ears while she was asleep.
That's very generous of you. The significance of that is not lost on me. I think I'm all right, but thank you.
Okay, well, regardless, Snuggle Pile was available. So yeah, she's going to teleport everybody back because I think I think it's time. I think we need to see the ocean again.
It's cold. Let's go.
I think it's pretty, but okay.
It's too cold. I can't smell salt. Where
Yeah.
are we? This is terrible.
This is why you should have brought the scarf that I made you, but okay. And so she, with that shade, we're going to leave the shade of the trees. And and yeah, and she's gonna teleport us on back to Thomas's temple.
Okay. So you returned to Tracy. It was near sunset when you were leaving Sunera and Old Zaka. But when you get to Tracy, it's actually earlier in the day. There's a rather substantive time difference. It's about a 2-hour time difference between the two. So, take that for what you will. So it's slightly earlier in the day. So it's early evening, we'd say, like 4:30ish. You guys arrive in the temple. Thomas, I think you are immediately whisked away by people who have been waiting for you to return and have errands and chores for you.
Not that immediately. First, everybody, while I have everybody here, we need to take 10 minutes to make Blackberry a little tent. We're going to set it up. We're going to put some mattresses in there. We're going to put some pillows. He will not be able to resist our combined force.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Sawin is using disguise self, so he looks like Alum still.
Oh my god!
Yeah, of course. Don't want anyone to know that you're associated with these people. I love it. I think that's great.
This isn't as serious, but I also have disguise self, but it's just like vacation cast. So she's wearing a fantasy Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts, and her shield is a coconut, and her sword is a pineapple on a stick.
Is this a new vacation outfit, or is this a reprisal from the beach episode?
From the beach, yeah.
Yes. Even though we went to the forest. I love it.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned that I love Kaz?
I love it. Feels perfect. Okay. So you all head downstairs, and as you come downstairs, you see that Blackberry is working in the kitchen right now. There's like 5 people working there, but Blackberry is one of them. And Blackberry sees you guys and says, "Wait, wait." And then there's a ding, and then he pulls open the oven and pulls out a tray of muffins and walks over and says, "Taste," and he just pops one in your mouth. It's really hot.
Well, Juno's the only one he's within height reach of to accomplish that.
He pops a really hot muffin in your mouth.
Okay,
I know it's hot. I know it's hot. That's not interesting. Tell me something new. Is it good?
Okay, she'll take a bite.
Yeah. It's pear and molasses.
Yeah. This is actually really good, Blackberry. Oh, this is really good, Blackberry. No, this is good.
Really? They're coming out?
Yeah, it's sweet, but not too sweet.
Good. That's the idea. Yesterday's weren't quite so successful. I was hoping to do. It's one of those things we have to sort of take what we have and do something with it.
Well, you've definitely done a good thing with it. You're doing so well.
Well, I'm learning. There's stuff to learn always, but I'm glad to be here and glad to be helping out.
Well, I'm just gonna eat the rest of the muffin.
Kaz is aware of the situation. Thomas leans over to whisper in Sawan's ear. He's sleeping in the kitchen.
So it just like kind of leads back to Thomas and goes, I am not myself currently. It's gonna be weird, and I don't want anybody to hear me talk. Thank you.
Fine. Never mind that we have all sorts coming in and out of the temple these days, but fine. Blackberry.
Yes, High Priest?
Okay. First of all, that ends right now. When did we start doing that?
Well, when I came to work for you.
No. Blackberry,
I was told that's your title.
Yes, it is, but Blackberry, you're my friend. I mean...
Sure, but right now I'm your employee.
We don't really have employees here.
Oh
I'm your
no!
volunteer, but like...
Is he that boss?
Oh, shut up. You know what I mean. It's a bloody temple. That was for Juniper, not you. I wouldn't tell you to shut up.
When I went through orientation, they said that we should call you High Priest.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, that does kind of
So this orientation you went through, who was there?
A number of volunteers. Svopri, I think was the person who led the orientation. I think that's her name. She's helping getting volunteers settled.
Right.
Did I do wrong?
No. I mean, well, like, Blackberry, I know it can be very difficult to live and work in the same place, and we're all kind of having to work on separating that right now, but listen, I mean, if you've thought about it and you want to take vows to this temple, that's one thing. And I can't stop you because you have to follow what your gut tells you on things like that. It would be a surprise, but I would support you. Now, as far as volunteering, I mean, Blackberry, we're friends. I mean, what you're doing here is so appreciated, and I can't thank you enough for it, but I don't want that to get in the way of our friendship either.
Why would it get in the way of our friendship?
It's a little formal, like it's a little distant, don't you think?
Well, sure, but like, this is work. If I see you outside of work, obviously I wouldn't call you High Priest. But I mean, don't you think that like there's something to be said for like order? I mean, I don't know. I've been told by multiple people that there's something to be said for like organization and order and things in their proper places.
Juno, mouthful of muffin, is like, you're on the point.
I think, unless you decide to take vows as an acolyte to this temple, I would appreciate it if you would call me Thomas. If it's going to cause problems for you with other people that you're around, if people think that you're jumping the chain of authority or whatever, and it's easier for you to call me that around them, then that's up to you. But when it's just us, I wish you would call me by my name.
There's like 5 other chefs here.
Okay, you know what I mean.
Not really.
Well, you can't keep sleeping in the kitchen, so we're going to come with us, and we're going to find you a bed. Let's go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you'll be right back. They'll just be cool by the time you're back. It's fine.
No, wait. No, what?
No, we're coming. Okay, either I'm the High Priest or I'm not. Let's go.
Juno, help me out here. He can't just give a bed to someone that is... Like, he can't just give me a bed to someone that could go to, like...
If you don't accept this, I'm moving you into my room and I'll sleep in the kitchen.
You really would, though. You know that.
Yeah, but, like, the bed should go to refugees. I'm just a volunteer. I can go back to the bakery at nights. It's fine. I was just early. I was just early and helpful.
It makes more sense if the kitchen starts early, which they do, for you to stay here for now. But that doesn't mean you're taking a bed away from someone.
You're not just a volunteer. You're feeding people.
You're
Blood
important too.
matters.
That is
You
true.
need to get proper rest and stay safe. Who else is going to feed all those people?
Yeah, Thomas, why don't you roll a persuasion check? You're getting help from multiple people.
Does that mean I have advantage?
Yes.
Maybe I should have had roll 20 pulled up. That probably would have been good to do.
Yeah.
Hindsight. Jeopardy music. Sorry, everyone. Oh my god, could it take longer?
Don't tempt the gods.
I really hate slowing down the action like this. I'm very sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, you said persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
24.
Is it? Look, I'm fine. I slept in the floors. Where do you want me to sleep?
Thank you, unstoppable force. Please come with me, immovable object, and we'll find you something to lie down on. You'll be back in 10 minutes. It'll be good for you.
Can't exist, you know.
What?
There can't both be an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
I'm not here to talk philosophy. What is this, a temple? Let's go.
Well, that's science. Judah just says in the background, eating the rest of the muffin.
Wizards.
Yep. And you show him to a spot, and he grudgingly accepts it.
Okay, put some plants around there and, you know, whatever he likes. Candles and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got his own little corner now. You have succeeded. With aplomb. Excellent. So this having been done, I think we can go our separate ways, split as we see necessary, and accomplish what we need to accomplish for various people. Let us start with Kaz.
Oh boy. So it's like, is it dark yet?
No, it's before evening. Evening will be shortly. It's like 4:35.
Okay. So there isn't a way to like show this, but there was a long internal debate of whether another disguise self should be cast.
Mhm.
Not to just drop the outfit, which she does. She does drop the outfit, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But to then cast it again and look like someone else, and then finally deciding not to do that.
Why is that discussion under place inside of Kaz's mind? Can we hear that discussion play out? Could you have a discussion with yourself? Is that too weird to ask?
Okay, I don't think I could sit here and talk to myself, but I will say that the thought is.
I will point out that I do
seems-
that almost every week, but keep going.
The thought is she feels like she should and is supposed to go in disguise.
Hmm.
It really doesn't make sense. It's a risk, and it just puts her too much into the situation rather than someone who is simply providing a service.
Mhm.
But she is not going to do that. She's going to go as herself.
Okay.
To do this.
Where
So-
do you go?
I'm going to. I assume Thomas told me where to find Tiri. I'm going to go find Tiri.
Yeah. Let's do this. Where do you think you find them?
I don't remember wherever they were last time. Probably there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so just God, where were they last time, Thomas? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was kind of like an open courtyard that was kind of overgrown. It used to be like part of a house that kind of like caved in, but now like it's just kind of being used as like a hangout by like folks who are around.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. You find them there.
Just like approach.
Yeah, she's like sitting down and leaning against the wall, right? I think she's like half nodded off.
Hey. Hey there.
What do you want?
I'm a friend of Thomas's.
Thomas's friend?
and- Yeah. And
Clearly you haven't seen him. With that face.
what? Does he have a different face?
What? Well, whatever. He's old now. That's all I'm saying.
Oh. Well, I mean, I think he's aged well. I feel nervous. I feel like he's gonna come out of the bush and he's like testing me. Like I think that's what I'm supposed to say.
Mhm.
He's not here, right?
No. What's up?
Right. So I happen to be capable of producing food and water that is clean for a number of people. And when I asked Thomas, he said that I should go to you to see how this should be distributed to the people who need it most, as I can only do this for 15 to 30 people.
Why me?
Well, you should probably ask Thomas that, but I think probably because he thinks you're super cool and nice and so capable and amazing.
So how does this happen?
I cast the spell, and the food and water appears.
And then I just give it to whoever I want.
Well, it's a lot for one person to carry. I don't know. I thought I could ask you who it should go to, where I should take it to, unless people are coming here. I don't know.
Sort of looks at you. How trustworthy are you, Kaz?
Like medium. But in this sense, very trustworthy.
Most people would lie. Just tell me they were trustworthy. But you recognize that you're only medium trustworthy. Why?
Because it's honest. I'm not great at lying. I have a friend who's been trying to help me get better at that, but it hasn't really been working.
No. Why are you only medium trustworthy? Like, what do you betray people for?
Usually if I need to get information and they're working for the wrong side, something like that.
So it's to get information.
In some cases.
Do you ever sell information? Sell people out? Sell truth? Sell out things that you've been asked to keep a secret?
I don't think I have. I wouldn't sell information out.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Debating whether I want to use inspiration. Why not? I feel like I never use it.
Do it.
I didn't need it. 21.
All right. And she stands up and she walks to the middle of the sort of burned out house courtyard. And she sort of looks around and makes sure that there's no one really watching that closely. And she just, with her foot, shoves a rock over. It's a big rock, and so it's pretty impressive that she can do that at all. And then you see there is a like a hatch to a basement that would have been the basement of this house. And she pops it open, and there's like a stepladder going down. After you.
Okay. And I'm just gonna open the hatch and go down.
Yeah. She follows you in, sort of limping heavily, not doing too well, and makes it down to the bottom, and looks around and curses, and then you hear and a torch gets lit, and you see that this basement, which is totally dark, it has like not a lot, but some preserved foods of various sorts. And this is like a stash, like a survivalist stash. Taking a look around.
So you store food here. How do you get it distributed?
Got runners, several secret entrances.
How do you determine who gets the food?
We feed the hungry as best we can. Look, I'm not going to lie. On some level, it's based on proximity, right? We prioritize people we know that are in hard spots. But what else can you do? You're helping Thomas's friend because you know Thomas's friend.
Well, because you're Thomas's friend as well, I'll take your word for it that you're not feeding the people that you prefer, and it's going to those who need it, who you can get it to.
I mean, it is going to the people I prefer. Let's be honest about this. It's just that the people I prefer happen to also need it. Look, if I was friends with some rich butthole that had plenty of food, it's not like I'd be showing up and offering, hey, you want this half a can of old tuna?
Well, that's fine. I would also prefer you get it to people who need it rather than people who don't and are doing fine, so that's fine.
I agree.
Okay. Well, everything checks out.
Is this a one-time offer?
No, it's not. I can't, to be completely honest with you, it takes a lot of power to do this. I can only do it twice, and when I do it twice, I can't cast any other spells of this caliber, so it is a calculated sacrifice. Otherwise, I would do it all the time. But I will do it when I can.
But everything's got limits. Nothing is limitless.
Right. Oh, I do have to ask, how quickly can you get the food out? Because the food I conjure will stay good for only 24 hours.
Well, obviously, we'll put it on the top of the list then.
Okay. Then I will begin casting Create Food and Water, and I will go ahead and do that twice.
Okay. So once you've done that, she looks at you and she says, it's an impressive amount of food.
Yeah, this should feed 30 people.
30 people is more than none. Come with me. I'm going to show you a better entrance. What part of town are you staying in?
What part of town am I staying in?
You can make up the part. She just asks you.
The upper part. I assume that's where Lady Iria is staying.
Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah, come this way. And she starts like guiding you through tunnels, and she points at like these tunnels are kind of intricate. And she points at like a colored yellow sign. She says, if you ever get lost, that's our sign to get you to where you're going. And she guides you through the tunnels, and then ends up at a place, and she looks up and she says, yeah, this'll do. Up this ladder, you'll be in the upper part of town.
Wow. I mean, thanks for sharing. I didn't think it would go this far.
Gotta be careful. What with everything going on.
Of course. I'm glad a tunnel system like this exists.
Careful down here, though. We're not the only ones using it.
Oh, Who else is using it?
I don't bother him. Better not to know.
Well, I would like to do more for the people if I can. I am limited, but there are some things I can do. Protection. I'm pretty strong. I've got muscles. I can purify food and drink. Not like a whole lot of it, but little bits at a time.
We don't really have people that need protection. We're not that kind of important. What we really need is just bodies.
Bodies.
Yeah. We're
Go ahead.
Launching a protest. I got word from some old contacts that the army's going to start conscripting people again, like they did in the Chaos Wars. Some admirals behind it or other. So
you're planning a protest?
As soon as they announce, we'll be chanting and yelling at the city hall.
So do you need people to be part of the protest? Is that what you're saying?
Need to make a stink.
All right. I'll work on it.
Nods. Turns around and starts limping away from you, back down the tunnels.
Keep me in mind if you need anything, personally, or not.
I guess.
And I will depart.
Okay. Solomon.
Yes.
Would you like to set up a scene for us?
I would like to talk with the former Lord Oceanswell. After I got Josen and Uti out of my house, I invited him to live with me.
Okay.
Basically, so I could keep an eye on him and like put non-detection on him, since we're like co-conspirators now.
Oh, sure, yeah, I like it.
So I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna like, yeah. So he's living at my house now.
Works for me.
Yeah, so I sort of, since I already know his feelings on Magli, I've kind of like apprised him to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he kind of burnt bridges in Racy.
Yeah.
And he's not as keen to work with people in the city, but we do need a place to store the grain.
Mm-hmm.
So I want his help in securing a place for the grain.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Beautiful building scene. So yeah, the goal is to store the grain. That makes a lot of sense.
And I do also need to let him know that like part of what I'm doing with Magli, and that while it is unsavory, it has to be done. Because I think it's the best way to overthrow him is to get on the council and then just completely and always undermine him.
Well, I have to admit, I do very much like the idea of undermining him at every single possible turn. I cannot say that I have any even beginnings of the trappings of the gleanings of an understanding of something that might be what you are engaging in here, but if you can manage to get yourself from promoted from art council to inner circle of Magli Blackice, and yet still maintain your ability to undermine him. Well, I have to admit that would be quite an impressive feat, especially when he seems to suspect you already. Oh, to some degree or another, or something. I don't know. Your stories are confusing, but oh wow.
So I like you and I are on the same page, and I need you to be able to keep up appearances outside of this house with
Sure.
regards to that. Like, you need to be with me. I don't expect you to be with him every step of the way, but I need your confidence in my abilities to do this.
Oh, certainly, absolutely. You're not planning. Sorry, I hate to ask this. No, I don't. I'm glad I'm brave enough to ask this. You're not planning on turning in me to Magli Blackice to the Primarch as like a token of good faith or something like that. Yes.
No, you're basically. I hate to be putting it this way because I don't feel this way, but this is how I'm going to portray it to Magli. Oh, and I've put like non-detection on him so we can have this conversation.
Yeah.
Actually, backtrack. I'm doing non-detection on him, and I'm casting tongues so I can speak in some language to him. So even if somebody, that's what I want to do. So that's what I want to do.
Will he blah?
Yeah, basically that's all they hear, and so I'm like touching him and like speaking. What I'm going to tell him in the long and short of it is that you're my puppet and you're going to do as I say because I picked you up off the street and gave you a home to live.
Of course, I'm not denying that at all. I just want to mentally prepare myself for the possibility of going to jail for the rest of my life and possibly being hung by the Primarch as a token of good faith by you or something like that, which I prefer not to.
No, I have no desires to do that. I have other things in mind. So with the green that's coming in, it is a show of good faith on my part that I have taken the liberties of setting this up with your assistance, using your contacts, and have organized this.
Yes, of course. Yes. The Navy's been a bit jumpy lately. Have you thought about the fact that the ships coming in might be perceived as a threat?
That's what I'm going to take care of once you and I sort out where we can store this.
Of course.
I'll be appearing at Magli's office, and this is my token of goodwill. So.
I see. And okay. Well, I may have a spot that could work. It's a large warehouse that is off the books that I own privately that no one knows about.
Okay. That nobody knows about.
I mean, I could make it known that I guess if that's helpful, but it is it's a large warehouse and largely empty. There are a couple things there that I prefer people didn't find out about, but I can get rid of that and then we can replace it.
Would it be helpful if we forged a bill of sale?
To what end?
To say that the warehouse is mine, but it's a forgery. It won't legally be mine.
I mean,
so then you wouldn't take the fall for it. I would take the fall for it.
Oh, well, then by all means, absolutely. I have a copy of a bill of sale that we could use as a model, but I don't have the ability to forge. Do you know someone who can forge documents?
I can do it myself.
Oh, you're a man of many talents and skills, and I'm not nervous about being involved in a revolution, even the least.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but it's better than being a master of one.
Oh, it's a good line. You speak well.
What if, so again, I'm not seeking to put you in harm's way. We will do this so that if anybody takes the fall, it will be my head on the line.
Oh, that's nice. I like my neck and my head, and prefer them to be attached, preferably to my body. Okay.
You'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah. Let's and he like turns around and hold on, and he goes back to his room and he closes the door for a second, and you hear him shuffling through papers and hyperventilating, and then opens the door and comes out and says, "Okay, here we go," and walks to you and hands. So this is what an official bill of sale looks like.
Mm-hmm.
When he hands it to you.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, I think I can forge one up with a little bit of help.
So why don't you roll forgers, tools plus dexterity?
I don't technically have forgery. I was just assuming that Oslos was going to give me a little bit of a hand with this.
Sure. Yeah.
Since it is a deception thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So what would you like me to do?
Do you have sleight of hand?
I do have sleight of hand.
Great. We'll call it sleight of hand then.
Okay. Cool. Do I roll this with advantage or no?
I don't think we will for this one.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come out the right way, like the first time, I think I want to practice forging it a couple of times to.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah, I think that the
18.
Yeah, you're fine. The DC is I was gonna I'm sitting there thinking, you have a model, you have a copy, you're skilled at this, you've got a god helping you. The DC's got to be like 11 or 12. So
okay.
like right. That's just where my thought process is coming from. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. You know, that's quite excellent. It's a very good likeness. I have to admit that I've seen professional scribes from the Hall of Records do less good. I was going to say forgeries, but I guess I've seen them do less good official work than this. So you know, the shape you are in is wow, and my name's not on it at all. This is disconcerting. I feel like we need a better way of maintaining our records so that they aren't so easy to forge.
Do you mean like in a more legal sense? Like for Chalestra, I mean.
Yes. Well, I mean not for. I mean, obviously this is convenient for us and our how would you put it? Our glorious quest for justice.
Yeah. So it's so you know the condition we have. The shared condition that you and I have.
Yes, of course. I'm aware.
Yeah. So I don't think that it would be as easy for somebody else to forge if they didn't have a similar condition to us.
Fair.
I'm currently getting a little bit of a boost, if you will.
Right. Fair. Okay. Well, that works. It's impressive, and well, were I like something like Minister of Commerce, I would be concerned about the ability to do some of this, but of course I'm not. Not that I'm angling for that or anything.
I don't. I haven't really, and I suppose it's something that we should be thinking about, and this is just we as a whole who are seeking to undermine Blackley. We probably should give a little bit more thought as to what we think a just and reasonable government would be.
Well, our
I can't tell if that's an in character, like
sorry, that was
hand to head, or if that's like out of character.
no. It's just I know what this character thinks, and it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It is so foolish. I should say. Sorry, I apologize. It is just so incredibly. Well, I have to admit that I think that our system is good and valid. I think that um, probably the Primarch and Vice Primarch should be on a ticket, so we don't get like a first place, second place, runner up problem like we did in this case. So the group of people that win leadership earn leadership, but some sort of representational process where the each tribal group gets a certain number of people representing it seems like a fair and just system to me. So something it seems like it's proportional based on the number of tribes there are, and that seems like a wise thing to me. Don't you agree? I mean, it seems so trivially obvious. It's exactly how it was set out before. It seems good to me.
Well, didn't bigger tribes get more say than the smaller tribes?
No, why would they?
Wait, did I misunderstand what he was trying to tell me?
No, the way the Constitution's set up, there's an electoral college.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a horrible system.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, it's fine. I don't think that system entirely works on its own. But then again, I am only just a bard. I'm not really well versed in political matters, but I suppose I should be hitting the books on that relatively soon. Well, I've already sort of started with contract law, as you can see. But I think I might have a person with whom I might be able to solicit counsel from that might have more insight than mine. It was always her wheelhouse, and she was sort of taken before her time to see it to fruition. So I suppose I have a call that I'll need to make this evening.
Yeah. Can you roll for me a perception check?
Yes. That's a 6. Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm still speaking in tongues.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. It's just like...
No, you have non-detection up. You are speaking in tongues. There, even if you missed a spy that you just missed, they don't understand what you're saying. They just are outside the window looking in, and you can't tell.
Oh.
But they
someone would have had the like
ability. Sorry, I will happily tell you. You rolled a 6. You missed and failed to notice that there is a spy who's watching you right now. But they don't have the ability to understand what you're saying. They don't have the ability to magically detect what you're saying. They're just watching you.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I expected this. This is fine. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so I think that concludes our portion of business for this evening.
Great.
And I will take this to Magli first thing tomorrow. And I suppose should you need to move anything that you currently have in the warehouse, you have a few days to do it before the shipment arrives.
Great. Just a small personal effect. I can keep it under the bed. That's the only thing that matters. I'll get some of the larger supplies out of there, so there's room for all the grain that you are speaking of. But nonetheless, just a small personal thing. I'll leave it in my room. Don't steal it, or I guess you can. I can't stop you or anything.
You are a guest in my home for as long as we're doing this. I will not touch your possessions.
I really, really appreciate that. Especially since you could absolutely do whatever you want with me. So thank you very much.
If I don't want this to come off as insensitive or rude, and I'm only trying to ease the concerns that you have. But if I did not care about you as a person, I would not have brought you back from your trip away. I would not have taken you to Masha to get the brew that you get every week. Like I don't seek to intentionally cause harm to people.
You have never intentionally caused harm to me, but you may not be fully aware, Sawin, of your immense knowledge and competence, and then forceful presence, and magical prowess. And now you have a pact with something that is giving you extra help that scares everything that I have ever talked to. And I'm just saying, I'm not. And now you have a plan to, I don't know what, somehow become the Primarch's Minister of Information. You may not be fully aware of how incredibly intimidating you are. You have done nothing.
Magli intends to hurt a lot of people.
I totally am with
certainly
you.
Hurting a lot of people.
Right there with you. I'm just saying it's scary. Okay? If there is a well-meaning, nice person, right, who's standing next to you, and you look over and suddenly they're holding like this big two-handed greatsword and like poison is dripping from the end of it. Like, I'm not saying the person's not a nice person. I'm not saying they haven't always helped me before. I'm still a little nervous around the greatsword, and you have a god. Sorry. I didn't mean offense. He does like some simple clothes.
He's fine with it.
Yeah.
I did what I did because I knew it was coming sooner or later. I hadn't expected it to be so soon, and he is not the one I had intended to do this with, but my hands were tied at the time. I would have, no offense, I would have much preferred to have made a pact with a god that was important to Celestra, because that was the right thing to do.
Oh, but I'll become a god important to Celestra.
Does Osmo say this out loud into the living room? Like, I really need him to not. Does he?
Just in your head.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just gonna slow blink and then continue and say one that is I had intended to make a deal with the god of community of Celestra, because that is what is needed at this point in time. I was unable to do so because someone, I don't know who, I just know I just know that someone did, and when I find them, I'm going to put their head on a pike.
Yeah, would not want to be them for anything.
But until, because again, it's I'm assuming that it's another god that did that. I don't really know of anything else that would have the power to just put a god in a little crystal ball. But the fact remains that if I didn't do what I had done, we would not be here having this conversation. And ever since I found out that I had the ability, that I had our condition, I had to learn very quickly, as you've had to learn quickly, like what it means. So
Totally 100% agree.
and the benefit of us being comrades in arms is that I am also able to train you in what I know, so you can protect yourself.
And believe me, I am grateful. I cannot help but be nervous a little. Sorry. Have you spoken to Masha since this whole thing happened?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not seen Masha.
Do you mind if I talk to her about this with her protections up? I feel like I could use someone else to talk to.
I think I'd like to, if it's okay with you, I'd like to be present for the conversation.
Okay. He nods.
It would just make me personally feel better. Masha probably already has an idea because I haven't seen her in how many weeks now?
Like
a week, 2 weeks?
We can have 2 weeks.
Week and a half, 2 weeks. She probably already knows. She probably felt it the day I did it.
That seems statistically likely.
I
think that's where we'll end that scene.
Yeah.
And let's go check in on Juniper.
Okay.
Boop.
Sorry, I make sound effects for the computer. Anyways.
You think I don't?
Yeah, so Juno will have very briefly brought up the concept to Mela of setting up an organization to help with rebuilding efforts, kind of like a Habitat for Humanity sort of thing, just in Racy.
Mm-hmm.
And brought up the concept of if this were brought up to the council with enough backing and support, would it be something that they would fund even a little bit as a pet project?
It's not a matter of if they'll fund it, it's a matter of what it will cost to fund it. Not money, but political capital. It's one of those things like, if I agree to go quietly with some stupid thing, then foolish endeavors, then they'll back my foolish endeavors or whatever. But what's the point here?
Well, the point of it is that people being left without homes and without sources of like basic comfort are then driven into the military, and then those people come back dead if they come back. It seems like if we're doing things to help Racy and help Chalestra, then we really need to be helping.
Maybe before, that would have been an easier sell. But the Gava has started becoming aggressive. At first, they were just defending their borders. But with the death of their ambassador, they believe it's us. They believe we are responsible. They believe someone from Trelestra did it and some politician from Trelestra ordered it, or whether it was official or unofficial, doesn't matter. The ambassador is dead. They're attacking.
Okay.
We
So-
haven't told people yet, but they have their eyes set on Juturo. Unless
Juturo.
something drastic changes. Or Quick Eyes can pull a save from nowhere. Juturo's going to fall. We just don't have the forces to protect it.
So what do we need the most right now?
If I think about this problem like an academic rather than a politician, then I recognize that it's a matter of priorities. Where we put our resources, that's what we are prioritizing. That's what we are choosing to care about. And you know me, Juno. I'm no nationalist. I believe in the Grand Accord, and I think that Magli's citizenry requirements and nonsense like that is garbage. But people are attacking us. I want to circumvent the war. That's what I think is the most important thing. I want to find a way to stop this war, no matter what it costs. I'll sue for peace. I'd give them Juturo if they wanted it, but
So they're just out for revenge at this point?
they haven't sent any demands. And I don't have to tell you that it's difficult to get spies in the Kava. Lines of communication there are nigh impossible.
So there's no one we know who's in the Kava that could give us information?
There's this sort of ally who is like a religious figure to them or something like that. His name is Thomas. I sent you to speak with him the other night. I don't know if you realize that. Not Thomas. Sorry. Thomas is your friend. I get confused sometimes because I'm old. Not because I'm a DM who runs too many games, but because I'm old. Sorry. Timothy. His name is Timothy. You spoke with him the other night?
Yeah, I did. He seemed a little, yeah, no, he seemed helpful enough.
He's, from what I can glean, he and his friends are some sort of group of messiahs to the Kava. They believe that they are like religious prophets destined to save them. That doesn't give them limitless power, but it does. He is our best path towards any form of information that I know of.
Okay.
And he definitely wants peace, which puts him in my camp. But the thing is, I don't want to say this to you.
What?
I am old enough to remember what it was like to see the troops of Sunera march through Racy, march through Juturu. I was in Hele, and I was with the Navy, me and what was left of my tribe, trying to prevent Sunera from engaging us on the water. They never were able to get Hele, of course, it's an island, but I remember what it was like to see that. I don't want to see another occupying force in this city. Peace is the preferable way. But right now, if we need people on the front lines to prevent that, she lets the sentence hang there.
So basically anything that would prevent people from joining the Navy or the military won't be backed.
Not without another way to end the war.
And when the war is over, will there be a Racy?
I don't know. There are a lot. Magli keeps it quiet, but they're a lot more powerful than us. I've seen the casualty reports. They have weaponry that slices your arm clean off from a distance.
I assume that if we could prove that it wasn't someone from Chalestra who wanted who ordered the assassination.
You know that?
Shit, she hasn't told her. But if we were to find out, would that change anything?
I mean, I don't know. I think the best she looks around and she looks down and she starts chanting something. And you see as she casts a detect magic spell, she sort of looks around, make sure that there's no sensors or anything spying, right? Mm-hmm. When she looks at you and she says, look, the best thing by far, from my perspective, absolutely 100%, would be, honestly, if we could find a way to prove not that this wasn't from Chalestra, but that this was Magli himself, and use that as a way to depose him.
If it was someone in his inner circle, would that be enough? Or would it have to be him?
If it was someone in his inner circle, that might be enough, but we'd have to have ironclad proof, and we'd have to have proof that they get most of their orders from Magli.
Okay. All right.
And then,
I see what you mean.
And then we need revolts.
We need what?
Revolts.
Against Magli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preferably against all of us.
You too.
Yes.
Are you saying that Chalestra's entire system will need to be remade?
The truth of the matter And I'm aware of this. And it's true. But the truth of the matter is that I have been sitting on a council. And as much as I protest, I don't resign. If Illumina were here, she would say that we need to be born anew. The best way for something new to happen is for us to make a clean break, whatever the cost. You know what she used to say? Just all sorts of crazy stuff. She was very fond of saying that she thought it would help anyone. She thought it would help everyone. She would have herself killed.
What?
She knew the power of a symbol. Sometimes I wonder if she faked her death, but I know she didn't. She would have faked hers, but there's no way she would have taken anyone else with her. She loved those people.
Yeah, that would seem a little extreme based on her writings. I didn't know her, obviously. Okay, this has given me some things to think about. Thank you. When I went to see Old Zaka, very odd to talk to a tree.
Yes.
Yeah, very unusual there in general.
They've got their own brand of advice.
They do.
You see her wipe her eyes and just like, okay, new topic.
Yeah, this is partly why she's saying this.
Yeah.
She said that she suggested that I needed to put down roots where I am.
And how did you interpret that?
That I have a place here, and that I need to actively try to make it better.
Seems to me like the tree, for all its weirdness, is telling you a certain degree of truth. I feel like when we started this, you were here for me. You know, I put you in that, whatever that old thing was, the secret organization, whose name is not our secret organization name anymore, whatever.
We'll work on that. Workshopping it.
And originally you were there to spy on them for me, keep me apprised of what was going on, and you were here fresh. But I feel like, I hope, like Chalestra is your home now.
I think it is.
Seems good to me.
So I think I might have an idea on how we might defend it. But I may need to talk to some people for that. But I will get back with you as soon as I know, as soon as it's not something that's tentative. But we might have. It would be something you would yell at me about, I think. You would tell me not to do.
You almost only do things I tell you not to do these days.
Yeah. So just to let you know, I'm going to do something that's probably rash and incredibly ill-advised. And who knows how it will pan out. But I think it'll be okay.
Will I have to disown you?
No, not
Oh,
at all.
Sorry.
It might be
had me nervous.
No. And she kind of leans forward a little bit, even though they're in a safe place, and say, I think I might have to see one of my friends about tricking a god.
Be careful. And she leans down and pats you on the shoulder and pulls you in, and with her long lizard snout, kisses you on the top of the head.
Oh.
Between the ears.
Tails.
And I think that's where we'll end that scene. And I think with that, we'll take our break, if that's okay. Well, guys, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Hey everyone, welcome back. We were talking over the break about some horrible people in our lives, and it reminded me that you, yes, you who is watching this, should do your best to not be a horrible person in someone's life. And one way to do that is to support people that need support and would benefit from support. There's all sorts of people that need that sort of support, and if you can find a way to aid them, be that offering resources, giving a helping hand, helping carry their load when it's too much for them, being an emotional sounding board, or giving real hard cash and or money to them or to organizations that support them, this is a powerful and good thing to do. Look for the marginalized communities in your life. Look for the marginalized people in your life and find a way to help them as best you can. It's a really shit podcast pissant world out there. And it's hard to be a person in it. And anything you can do to support and help people in it is a useful and powerful and proactive thing to do. So please do your darndest to do it. This conversation that I had over the break is going to make me go find an anti-bullying league to donate money to immediately after this game. Okay. As always, we've got games on this channel. You can check them out. We've got lots of games on this channel, 4 of them right now, to be precise. We've got 2 on Thursdays, Thursday morning and Thursday evening, and then 1 on Fridays, and 1 on Sundays. The Thursday games and the Sunday game are all set in the same world. In fact, hint, hint, we might have some crossover episodes at some point. Sorry about that. Not sorry at all. And they're a lot of fun. They're kind of running and bumping into each other. Lots of good stuff. Our Thursday morning is a old school crawling adventure, digging through an ancient tomb. We just rescued our paladin, who was captured by an evil person, and they have rescued a magical artifact as well, although we don't know exactly what that does yet. And I'm very excited to dive into what it does next session. This is our more political-based game, intrigue and politics and all that good stuff. Diving into what is going on with problems. And then our Sunday group are dealing with inversions of Chosen One narratives and what it means to be chosen and how to avoid the problems of that in a good sense. And yeah, we're having all sorts of fun. Our Friday game, we check out lots of different games, doing lots of different systems. We play different games. Right now in the middle of a stream series of games about Quest. Quest is a great and very fun RPG that I highly recommend you check out by coming and watching our stream tomorrow. Good stuff. Back to the game. Thomas, where you at? What you doing?
So he is at the temple because this spell can take a while and he wants to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That he's trying to set up to cast. One of the components is a feather from a sleeping bird, and I feel like I can rely on my homeboy Mercury to do that for me.
No problem.
Just sneak up on the birds of Racy
Sure.
while they nap.
Yeah, I think he
Sleeping, not dead. Sleeping, or it won't work, and I'll know what you did.
Fair enough. Yeah, he comes back with a feather of a sleeping bird.
Fucking work.
It'll work. Boss, have I ever failed you? Big puppy dog eyes on our pseudo tracking.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, he will not be given pastries. He will be given absolution.
Blackberry's making Hamantagen.
God damn it. That's why he's so round. So I think he's going to try to cast the first version of this around midnight, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe just after midnight.
Okay.
Because he is trying to cast Dream, and he's trying to reach out to Alden via Dream to kind of chat with him about a couple of things and also kind of get figure out this spell and get better at the spell.
Beautiful.
That remains to be seen. Yeah. I imagine this is like learning Sims, but
we'll find out. So you're reaching out to Quick Eyes in general.
Yes, because like I think I mentioned, I wanted to cast this like twice. Good dream and bad dream.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me. I should pull up the text because this is gonna matter. Hold on 1 second. This will work. My internet won't die on me. There we go. Known to you. Blah blah blah. Cool. Yeah. He's not gonna resist. If he thinks it's you.
Hopefully that'll be clear. I don't know what his dreams are like. They're probably not always great, but
no.
Also, if he can help out with that, that's something that he wants to try to do as well.
Sounds good. So what does this look like? Why don't you tell us what the stream experience is like for our boy?
So basically they are kind of at this outdoor cafe, like in like what would be pretty recognizable to somebody from Racy as like a major kind of like shops and bars street, and just like favorite meals are on the table, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and they've got the good spot, which is like overlooking the beach and everything, and it's just very beautiful, and there aren't any recruitment posters anywhere, and it's like kind of idyllic. It's what the city might have looked like, I don't know, maybe in the last year before the explosion happened and Blackice took power.
So he's sitting there and he's drinking, and this isn't real.
Surprise. Look what I can do.
Wow. Is that really you?
Sorry, over the table, I didn't hear that.
Is that really you?
Oh, yes, it's me. Yes.
Wow. Where are we? I mean, I recognize the space, but where are we really, I guess?
Well, this is your dream. I just popped in to say hello. Don't look behind you, because the man floating halfway up that alley, that's not malevolent or anything. Mercury just kind of flapped his wings and I got distracted for a second. This is very complicated, but he's not supposed to be hovering. That was a mistake.
Oh, okay. I won't look.
How have you been doing? Oh, we don't have to talk about that, but...
No, it's fine. Feels weird to talk about it in this sort of idyllic setting. This is really nice. I wish we had done this when you were here, when I was here. Whatever. Things were fine for a while, but they're getting worse. The orders were always, orders from on high that don't really know anything about what it's like on the ground. But we were able to turn them into reasonable requests, I guess. But I don't think I realized how little the Cabal was fighting back. Our losses were high, but not high for war. But just recently, they started coming after us in force. There's a group that's marching towards Juturo right now. My son's there.
I I wish I knew more about it. Is he also with the army, or
Yes.
no?
He's serving. The commander there's a good sort, but you can't help but worry. How are things back in Ray C? How goes? Are we safe to talk here?
Oh yes, no. This is just this is your dream.
How goes the uprising?
Oh, you know. People are hungry. We're doing our best to try to keep
Really?
things from getting dire.
I hadn't heard. We've got plenty of food up here.
Yes, no, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, an army marches on its stomach, right? Or is it just something they say?
No, it's true. Hungry soldiers don't fight well, nor do they survive long.
Or follow orders well.
You know that when they start saying meals are after the battle that you're losing, because then they have less people to feed.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't like sending people just out to be cannon fodder, I'd almost encourage recruitment efforts because they'd probably eat better than they would in the city, but that's a dire choice to make.
Live hungry or die full.
Full of what?
You know, I don't think I've laughed since I left.
Good. That's probably just because you got to the rank where, you know, people don't want to say the wrong thing and get shish kebabbed by your generalness.
You know, there may be some truth in that. It's harder to be one of the men when you are actually leading them. It was easier back in Ray C when I was basically retired.
I don't suppose there's any way. I mean, it's literally wartime. What difference is one person going to make? You couldn't like pull some strings and get your son transferred to where you'd have someone who could talk honestly to you, could you?
I could. Wouldn't even be hard. Don't even have to pull strings. I'm in charge. He would never forgive me, though.
No. Details.
Yeah.
Well, Oceana's on her way. She's
your daughter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Coming from Terra Vest.
Oh, do you know about the Admiral?
When you say the Admiral, I assume you mean the Admiral. Yes.
Kalir. Kalir. Wave Point. You've
No, we met
before at the party.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken to what's the word? I guess it's sort of like piracy, but when the government does it, it's not piracy. He's attacking,
Privateer.
confiscating their goods.
I was going to say that. Person off screen. Random NPC in this dream. Go back to work. Go. Shoo.
Thank you, Voice of Mercury. Yes, he. Yeah, it's a little bit of a sting, but he's stealing supplies. Make sure. I mean, Oceana's famous. I'm sure she's fine. You know, when you told me your daughter's name was Oceana, I don't think I realized that you meant like the Oceana. That's an interesting thing that you neglected to tell me much about.
If it's any consolation, I'm used to not telling many people about it. It's kind of safer that way all around.
Sure,
it's not because I was trying to keep things from you. It's just more of a force of habit.
I understand that very much.
I didn't touch your feelings, did I?
No, I totally understand. I just when you did tell me, I didn't. It took me a while to process. Who's her mother?
Oh, well, doesn't really have a mother, actually. I usually wait a while to bring this up, because he pokes people, and he knows I hate it. But whenever I bring someone around, he pokes them, and he just picks at them, and then they get pissed off, and I have to do damage control, and it's a whole thing. But it's Fabian Damaris. Please don't choke. It's only a dream. I don't know what happens if you die in a dream.
Sorry, no.
I can't heal. Deep breaths, deep breaths.
Um,
And waiter, can we get some pretend water?
Right away.
Sorry, Oceana's mother is Fabian Damaris, the scourge of the seas. The
It's a whole thing.
pirate who conquered the moon, the leader of the Seven Isles, the bringer of destruction to, like, what the...
Look, the first thing you need to know about pirates is that they really like to talk. So,
I mean, of course, I'm sure
you
they're
can
all
throw out like
fighting
40% of that.
generations, you know, whatever, but, like, you know, no, it's not
Did he
like
go to the moon? Yes. Did he conquer the moon? Debatable.
he went to the moon?
Yeah. I was surprised too.
Wait, sorry, he...
I didn't
Wait,
mean for this
Oceana-
to stress you out.
No, it's fine. Honestly, I'm enjoying it.
Oh, good.
It's not exactly a normal conversation to enjoy, I guess, conversations about the exes, but,
Well, I mean, as a result, we are sort of a part of each other's lives, but if you two ever meet and he tries to get a rise out of you, just don't pay him any attention.
sure. I'm pretty easygoing when I'm not, when my life's not at risk.
Oh, good.
We haven't really seen that side of me, have we? Because of everything.
Well, I would rather not see your life at risk. This whole profession of yours is very inconvenient for me in that way.
You know, I don't disagree, and every day I think about retiring. What do you think? Beach somewhere?
Tempting.
There's a, and he looks around the dream, and he looks to the cafe, and he looks up and he's like, I bet we could scrape together enough money and buy that loft. If you like it in receipt.
I like it very well in Racy. General Quick Eyes, are you asking me to move in with you?
Someday. Yes.
Sweet man. He kisses him.
Well, get word to your daughter. I'd be very annoyed if my ex in any way injured your daughter. I think
Yes, that would be
we have a
awkward, wouldn't
relationship.
it?
Even though I have no power over my ex, I imagine that you would still be annoyed at me. So, find a way to make that not happen, please.
Not annoyed at you. I'd vent it in the appropriate channels. This is going to be a very weird ask. What I'm doing right now, it's very, very effective. See, I was thinking of actually sending a message to Admiral Carrier at some point. And, you know, that's what really helps with that is if you have something of that person's. So even though, yes, I agree, we haven't talked much about exes at this point, but you wouldn't have like some of his hair or anything weird like that lying around, would you? I told you, it's a very weird ask.
You could,
Just because we don't know each other that well.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, you know, it's...
And if you don't, that would be a very normal thing. But also,
Yeah.
if you do, I wouldn't judge you, and it would be very helpful to me.
I don't know if this is helpful. The closest thing I can think of, in my house, in the manor back in Racy, which is where you are. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a little confused about this whole thing.
Yes, I'm in Racy.
There's a in the cellar where the wine is. There's like old junk in the corner, and there's a trunk in the bottom. It's a green trunk with a blue latch. Really clashes and it's hideous and ugly. It was a gift from my mother many years ago. But I store old stuff in there that I don't really want anymore, old pictures and things like that. I'm pretty sure there's a small necklace with a painting of Kalir and I. It doesn't have any physical stuff, but it was we both wore them for a long time, and it was his. It may work.
So he got to meet your mother.
Oh, no. I keep the suitcase because it's my mother's. She died in the wars.
Oh, my apologies.
No apology necessary. Just the only thing I have of hers.
Oh, do you know that Mercury would be able to get in some way? To leave the sunroof open, did you?
I didn't, but or at least I'm sure that they didn't. But there are a couple of guards on the house, and they know you.
All right. If you think they'd let me in, I'll give
I'm
it a
sure
shot.
they would.
Oh, do you know someone called a Lady of Quality?
The lady of the etiquette writer.
Mm.
I mean, I have her book, and well, I had some questions and we corresponded a little. I don't know her personally.
Okay, I was just wondering. I saw it sticking out at your place that one time, and as it turns out, Juniper is a huge fan, so I just thought I'd ask.
Oh, sure, yeah. No problem. Here, hold on. And he picks up a napkin in the dreamscape and then like finds looks around. How much control do you have over this place?
A level of control which honestly I could get very used to. He pulls a pen out of his pocket.
Takes the pen. Thank you. And he writes on the napkin. And he hands it. And he says, have Juniper double check the grammar of everything. She's a little bit of a stickler, but that's where she lives, if Juniper wants to send her a letter.
Juniper works for Mela Stepwise. I'm sure she's used to lady dragons by now.
Of course. She's she's very wise.
Thank you, darling. Everything's kind of gone to shit since you've gone. I can't tell you how much I wish that you were around to just make it feel better.
He reaches and takes your hand. It's a little bit insubstantial.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding his hand, but you're part of his dream, and he's part of yours.
I think he's just gonna try to have them stay like that for a little while before breaking it off and saying goodbye.
Stay safe.
Thomas kisses him again and he says, please watch your back.
I will. And we'll cut the scene there. Solomon, how you doing? Let's do something.
I think he would like to get counsel from Panarin, if it's okay for it to be the same evening.
Sure.
Cool. Gonna go to the dreamscape.
Okay.
And think about her, I guess.
Yeah. long, clear blue line stretches forward before you.
Mm-hmm.
And to it, you see the same round sandstone temple you saw before.
Isn't that the one that fell apart?
It did.
I don't like that. I don't like that it's whole now. Yeah, so I'm just gonna ask Oslos, is it supposed to be like that? The last time I saw that, it was broken.
Well, never been here. Don't necessarily know, but not impossible for it to be repaired.
Okay. I'm a bit concerned is all.
I understand, but I'm here, and we have a deal.
That's right. We have a
And-
vested interest in my well-being.
I'm not saying that there isn't anything that can circumvent my gloriousness, my fantasticalness, but it would take a lot. And Solon, buddy, you're very well protected.
All right. It's gonna be a while before I stop asking that. I apologize.
What's a while?
What's a while?
Hmm.
Well, you've only been with me for how long now?
A couple
2
days.
weeks?
3
What?
weeks. Week and a half. Week and a half.
Yeah,
Time.
it might last for a month. Me asking if I'm okay. So.
Oh, sure, no problem. You said last for a while. Let me tell you about the last person that I was bonded with. He, very smart, super clever guy, tricked a lot of people. Didn't end up going down so well in the history books. A lot of people don't like him, but really fun guy to work with. Liked him a lot. Them a lot. They changed their pronouns later on, and I just totally forgot because, despite being a god, I am fallible. Anyway, they were whining about it and worried about their protections for about 140 years. So, month ain't nothing.
Yeah, so as Oslos is talking, I'm just going towards the dome.
Yeah. So you enter into the dome. Big open archway.
Yes.
Before you. And the dome is hollow. And in the center of the dome, there is a pedestal. And on that pedestal, there is a sea green bowl made of some sort of glazed clay, it looks like. And the bowl inside of it has water. Clear water.
Okay. And there's nothing else in here?
There's an exit on the other side, a perfect mirror of this side, a domed thing that would leave the place. The blue line that you are following goes to the bowl.
Okay. So I'm just gonna take his tarot card deck out and look at them. Does anything change when he pulls the deck out?
Do you pull a card?
Box? I'm sorry?
You pull a card?
Do I pull a card? No, I do not pull a card. I just have the deck in their case out and I'm just looking.
Yeah. What's on the case? What does it look like?
It is a wooden case. I think that it would definitely be it's much smaller than this.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely something that can fit in his pocket on the inside of his jacket. I imagine that if Prian had a sigil, like that would be on it,
Sure.
or at least like the symbolism of like the different gods, if that makes sense, since they're represented in the actual tarot deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that your tarot box, your wooden box, nothing has moved or changed on it, but it seems like it's made of a lighter color wood here. Might just be a trick of the light, because there's a fair bit of light here. It's very bright. But it seems like a slightly lighter shade of wood than you're used to.
Okay. So I'm just gonna put it back and then walk over to the bowl and I guess peer into it, but he's not gonna touch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You peer into it and you hear a voice, but it's not Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, "Who do you seek?"
Yeah, in my head I'm gonna be like, Oslos, do you know that voice? Who's speaking to me currently?
I'm not certain, but they have some degree of power here.
Okie dokie. Well, it would be rude of me to ask for someone if I didn't get your name first, is how someone's gonna respond.
I am the gatekeeper. Who do you seek?
Yeah, after they say that they're the gatekeeper, like someone's gonna pause and wait for Oslos to comment at any time.
Don't you wish everyone just had names rather than just like titles about what they do? I mean, I don't mean to cast aspersion on Thomas's friend, the Chain, but my God, wouldn't it be just easier if his name was like, I don't know, Sam?
I don't presume to know much about anything besides the things that I do know, and even that shifts constantly, but they very well couldn't take your names. Yemis being the only exception.
Fair. Anyway, well, if you're looking for analysis, this is some sort of being that is some sort of gatekeeper to some sort of realm that has some sort of answers for you.
Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. And someone's just like rubbing his face. All right. What do you require of me? He asks the bull. Besides the name.
It depends upon the name.
Okay. Penner and Halric.
What do you offer?
I offer one of my twilight years.
A year of life. I grant you a conversation. Peer into the bowl.
He peers into the bowl.
The water ripples without you touching it. And you feel a little bit older than you did a second ago, not substantially. But just but something noticeable. A muscle tightens that hasn't tightened before in that way. Without extreme exercise. And the bowl starts wavering up and down, rippling and turning into a pattern. Just like almost like the bouncing of a ball. And as it does, an image appears upon it. A stone fence with a gate in it. and the gate opens before you, and you see a field of many, many people. A voice calls out, speaking in a language you've never heard before. Hyansta! But it's the same voice. And then you see Panarin, Ulrich. She walks towards you. And she stops at the gate and looks out. Samhain? Are you there? Hi. Is Tis with you?
Not right now. No, he's not.
Oh,
Or they're not.
okay. Hi.
Where are you? You're not here at the dome. I had to speak with someone to get to you.
The dome collapsed.
Yeah, I watched it collapse.
Something took my power. I didn't have much to begin with, but it keeps me here now.
There's so many things I want to say, and I don't think I have time enough for them all. Can you see what's happening on Isaim from where you are?
No. I get news occasionally. Sometimes someone else will join us. But it's been quiet for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I am in process of trying to do the right thing for Chalestra. Because Magli has as you're probably aware before you ended up in this new place, he's not doing great things. And I've had to, thanks to you, I guess, for giving me the idea in the first place, but I had to make a deal with a god, and if it wasn't for you telling me the fable of Prian, I would not still be living. So thank you.
Of course. Anything to help you. But why Chalestra?
Magli intends to hurt a lot more people than just the citizens he's in charge of.
You have said enough.
Can
I help you now? Is that why you're here? Or is it to free me?
I don't know how to free you. I don't.
Sorry, then. Please, just... How can I help you, Salwyn?
I don't know if what I'm doing is the right thing. I have done things that I am not proud of, and I feel like I will have to do more things that I will not be proud of. The one that currently vexes me the most is that I have gotten Magli to look favorably upon me. And my intention is to get into his inner circle so I can undermine him. And I don't feel very good about that. In order for me to prove myself to him, it has been heavily implied that I will have to hurt somebody. And I've already done that once. And I'm wondering if the ends will ever justify the means.
You came to me for advice.
I need to know how to be a politician. If I'm able to do with my group what we intend to do, there's going to be a vacuum in Chalestra. And I need to know what to replace it with. And I am very scared all the time.
You know, Illumina Starborn said a lot of things that were inspiring and a lot of things I never understood. But one thing that she said really struck me. In some ways, I admire Chalestra, because the founding of the Court meant that they changed their system. They rewrote their political way of existing. Aberach didn't change, Sonera didn't change, and certainly Prian didn't change. But Chalestra did. And Illumina was fond of saying that change is hard, and you're not going to get everything right the first time. But what you need is beliefs and values that you're constantly pushing towards. She called it orientation. Always using the stars for a metaphor whenever she could. You have to be oriented towards your values. And if you are, missteps are not that they're forgivable necessarily, depending on what they are, but they're understandable, they're relatable. And more than that, I don't know, she's much better at this than I am. I guess, Samhain, just from listening to you, I would say that it sounds to me like you lack your clarity of purpose. It's not clear to me that you know what you're fighting for. I mean, you definitely know what you're fighting against, and that's a huge step. But we can't always just be against something. I was not a fan of the Emperor and Prian, and I protested against him. Of course, somehow I ended up with this job, but Destruction is easy. Building something new is what's hard.
I guess I just need to know where to start. Because I don't know where to start. None of us really do. But I guess you can call it foolish of me to put myself in the closest circle of Magli. Because I couldn't really bear the thought of anybody else doing it that I know.
In the Chaos Wars, I never told you this. I told Tiss once. I don't know if they remember. Probably. I assassinated a couple people. I justified it to myself at the time, but I still feel guilty now. Past death. So this is what I would say. You have a burden to carry. I can't deny that. But you need to understand why you're carrying this burden. And so I need you. Can you do a favor for me?
Of course. Anything for you.
When you get home, pull out a piece of paper and write down the core ideals that you believe in for this society, for this world. Don't mitigate it with the current moment. Just say, I, Samhain, believe this is good. And just write these core ideals down. And then, as Lumina would say, orient yourself towards them. It will help settle your nerves to know what you're fighting for. I saw, before I was here, how much my death hurt you. But your sole reason for fighting Magli, it can't boil down to revenge for how he treated my remains. That's what got you here. I get that. But you need to build something more.
Yeah, Owen doesn't really know what to say to that. He's probably like crying at this point as he's like peering over the bowl, so like tears are probably hitting the bowl. Or like the water in the bowl. I don't know if that does anything, but
and the image ripples with the teardrops. That being said, she says, crying herself, given the opportunity to kick him in the balls or not, I vote kick him in the balls.
I don't think I'll be able to do that very soon. But I'll put it on my bucket list.
Yes, you will. I know you, Selwyn. You are going to weasel your way into his inner circle, and with every step that you take, you're going to find some way to annoy him or pester him. It's going to be small things, it's going to be big things, and you're going to make every single one of those things feel like a metaphorical kick in the balls. And until you can physically do it, I will take that as a great kindness.
Sawin, what Sawin wants to do is, I don't know how closely the gatekeeper is like keeping an eye on him at all. But he's just gonna think to Asthos, and he goes, "Do you think you can make a duplicate of the charm that I currently have? The little glass palm tree."
No problem. Want it for her?
For her. She's the one that brought us together after all.
He pauses for a second and then says, this should work. Can you just run a finger through your hair?
Yeah, no problem. Someone does it.
And you, as your hand comes out, you find a copy of the charm as if it was embedded in your hair like a pencil. He says, don't touch the water now. It's pretty powerful, but drop that in for her.
Thank you. Yeah, and so Sawin's just gonna like lean over and still like mess with his hair, and like as he messes with his hair, it falls out, and like he'll pull his face back so he doesn't get splashed with the water.
Falls into the water, plop, and then disappears the second it touches the surface of the water, and then falls like from the top of the bowl down.
Yeah.
And Panarin catches it in her hand, and she looks at it. She says, "Oh, what's this?" She holds it close.
I'm not going to tell you the price I paid to have a conversation with you, and I think it's going to be our last one for a little while yet, I think. But I do want you to know that I love you, and I miss you.
Thank you. I miss you too. And I miss Tiss. And Illumina. And I don't know why, but I've been thinking a lot. There's this grouchy lizardborn who Illumina was friends with. I don't know why, but she was always so freaking grouchy, but I liked her too.
Oh, you're talking about Mela.
Yeah. She's still in Chalestra. She was a good person if you need someone to talk to.
Her and I are well acquainted.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
She actually didn't like me much when she first met me.
I don't think I did either, but you won me over pretty quick.
She thinks I'm rather foolish. She thinks that I'm not a very intelligent man. But I think I'm going to exceed her expectations.
That would not surprise me in the least, Selwyn. I can feel the call. I'm gonna have to go.
I figured as much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And she turns and walks back through the stone gate. You start to leave the area heading back home.
Mm-hmm.
And Oztho speaks to you.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, that was a very clever offer that you made.
Yeah, one of my twilight years. Considering I'm not even sure I'm ever going to meet them, but
Oh, well, that too, but that wasn't what I was. Sorry, I should have made that clearer. Maybe we haven't really had a conversation about. I can extend your life. You should totally feel free to like make that offer as you need. I can extend your life.
someone just like loses it as as soon as they make it out of the dome
Yeah.
and it's like safe enough and he's walking back, he's just cackling at this point. Like absolutely losing it until he's like crying and he's just like
And I think on that ridiculous trickster god note, we will cut and go take a look at someone else. Kaz, how you doing?
Oh boy, here I am. So I guess after getting all that done, my next thing would be to go and speak with Lady Iria.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm gonna stop by. Harville's should be posted in front of his room, and before I go, and I'm just gonna be like, "Do you have my scarf?"
No, not yet. It's it should be here tomorrow. I'm really, really sorry.
Tomorrow.
Look, he was like, you don't care about the details. I will fold it on the floor. It'll be at the foot of your door tomorrow morning when you wake up.
That's all I want to know.
Okay,
Tomorrow.
sorry.
No, it's. I feel a little bad for scaring you so much, but also don't do it.
Yeah, sure. Right there with you. Won't do it. Good call. Done.
Okay. She's in, right? Well,
Yes.
Why else would you be standing here? Right. Okay. I'll knock and then just creak the door.
Who is it?
It's Kaz.
Oh, that's all right. Please come on in. You enter and you see that she's having tea with the noble. And the noble looks like a little bit persnickety and then nods and says, "Well, I will take that as my dismissal. Bye." And he stands up and like walks away without bowing.
You need me to take care of that one?
No, he's just grouchy because he agreed to more than he intended.
Oh, nice. Nice going. So I assume you talked to Thomas by now.
Yes.
I guess you didn't know we were friends, but we're friends.
Did not even cross my mind that you would know one of the high priests, I must admit, Kazan. I took you for being more insular than that to some extent. But works for me.
Yeah, it's funny. Funny how we met. Real funny. But right. How's everything going? How's your day? I feel like I always just come in here and ask for things.
My day is good. I have something in the works that I want to tell you about, but it's not ready yet. But I was working on it all morning, and I think it's going to work out. But I want to get one more person to confirm that they're okay with this, because it involves them and you, and I just want to get everyone on board.
Okay. I hope it works out. Keep me updated.
Me too.
Well, I don't mean to add more to your plate.
Go for it, please. I'm here for it.
So...
Kind of exciting, isn't it? Doing the whole rebellion thing? Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Seems improper.
It is exciting. I'm glad you said that. Speaking of rebellion, so recently I have found myself able to cast spells of a higher caliber, and one of those spells involves being able to create clean food and water.
Beautiful. Very useful at this time.
Yes, very. So I thought I didn't know who should get this food since it can only go to so few people. So Thomas had a friend actually that knew how to distribute the food to the people who needed it most. And when I was there, I realized that this is what I need to be doing more of, helping the people. So I'm going to do that. There's
Okay.
going to be a protest.
Protest?
Mhm.
Against what?
The draft.
There isn't a draft.
There will be.
What can I do to support this without undermining it?
Well, we need more people, for one, to be aware and know to go, but of course without alerting the wrong people. So my thought was, if you knew of people who worked for other people lower down, I could get into contact with them and perhaps they could work in a more subtle manner. I just don't know who to go to. Of course, I'll want to acquire medical supplies, any protective gear.
Have you sorry, this is just amusing. You know that you hired Harville Bundlebread, yes?
Hmm.
Do you know who his father is?
I can't say I do.
His father is a former union organizer at the docks who has gone into newspaper publishing.
You don't say.
Yes, I think this strikes me as perhaps the man you need.
Well, glad I didn't scare him too much about stealing my scarf.
Yes, of course. No, he's an intense sort and gets a little rough. He lost his union posting because of issues, but I still think he's the man that you need to speak to.
Okay, that's good. That's what I was hoping you would give me. Thank you.
Chundo Longbeard is his name.
Chundo. Okay. Okay. In the meanwhile, I think the only other thing is, like I said, supplies, but I don't know what exactly can be done about that.
I don't either. It's new for me. I guess I can write to some people and ask, but that would let the cat out of the bag, as it were.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out. This is already good. This is a good lead.
Of course.
I don't know why I feel like I should mention this, but I met this person as myself and not disguised. And
That's a change for you.
very much so. Usually the things I do as Kaz, feels weird to refer to myself that way, are duties I usually don't have a choice in. Not something I choose for myself. And well, I know you don't like it when I refer to myself as a tool or anything like that, but honestly, it makes things easier. when I think about the things that I've done. Because if I were to take accountability for those things, I don't think I'd be standing. I think I'd just be on the ground in tears. So it's helped to keep myself at an arm's length.
But now you are not.
It's terrifying. I don't want to start thinking about the things I've done and in that way.
Honesty is always terrifying.
I just don't think there's any way I can ever come to terms with the damage that my actions have caused. Which is why it helps to think it wasn't me. It was what I was hired to do. It is what I was told to do.
I get that. I understand. I think that not being in disguise for this good act may be the beginnings of a step in the right direction. Perhaps, Kazan, if you can be yourself for as much good as possible and save the disguises, the masks, for when you are doing something else, it might delineate, for yourself at least, the good and the evil.
That's what I'm hoping, but it's not easy.
Yes, I know. It never is.
Anyways, thank you for listening. I just wanted to ask that one question, but thank you.
Of course. We'll stop there. Juno.
Okay. There are a few different routes Juno can go. I know that Solin has plans. So what Juno would then do is I think she would invite Alum over and set up her study to invite people. I think that she would have gathered pretty much any book that has anything to do with binding or abjuration or large acts of magic. I think she would have tried to find. And she would invite him over.
You know, this is almost every day this week that I've been over at your house, rather than meeting at the lighthouse. Not that I have any objection, but well, hello.
Hi.
Pleasure to see you.
Well, it's nice to see you too. I know we've been seeing each other a lot outside of the lighthouse, and I've gone every now and then.
Yes, for that rather dramatic conversation with that rather dramatic person.
Yeah, which I hope I will continue to have dramatic conversations with her.
Good luck with that. I will be there as always.
But I think that her conversations are dangerous enough to have in the open. And I don't know, I think we could talk hypothetically, but I'd rather talk openly with you.
Sure, happy to. Glad to. Do you want me to ward this so that no one can spy, or would you like to do it?
Oh, either or. I think I have the spell slot. I can do it.
Of course.
I have the spins. I can do it. So she does it. And of course she has the tea that he likes, and of course everything is set up just nice. There's a mess outside, but there's a little like the eye of a hurricane.
Yep, of course.
There's a little bit of calm there.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer. I am ever so grateful, and you always have the tea prepared so perfectly for me. It is so kind. Thank you much.
You're welcome. I was actually thinking of something. What are your opinions on the gods?
Which ones?
In general, do you think that they really do like the sun rises whether or not there's a god attached to it?
Sure, the planet is orbiting it. Ethereum orbits the sun.
And the tides still continue, and people affect their own fate.
I see what you're asking. Gods are complicated creatures, and there's many different variants, but I want to be very clear, it's not because there are many different variants, it's because many different things claim godhood, whether they're gods themselves or not. Does that make sense?
Yes, but what makes them a god that they can't be killed? Because gods die. I mean, look at the Akutsan.
Yes, all of the Akutsan have passed on. Well, there are many factors that go into it. And again, I want to clarify that there are gods that are actually gods, and then there are things that claim godhood which are not actually godhood, right? But the best definition I've seen was written down by a scholar known as Brewsty. And he was a very, very well-respected wizard in his time, head of one of the wizard towers. I forget which. Maybe Hexar, the lost one. But
the lost wizard tower?
Yes, the Hex Tower.
Would you know of that?
What? Oh, certainly. It's in well, it's not far. It's in Abarak, but it disappeared. Maybe 7-8 months ago.
Oh,
quite the stir.
Recently.
Yes, quite the stir.
And this is a wizard from there.
Originally, although a long time ago, died maybe 600 or 700 years ago. It's his scholarly works that I'm referring to here.
Okay.
Anyway, he developed a theory which he was able to test, although not fully prove, that what makes a god truly a god is an ability to exist in multiple places simultaneously as themselves. Not as copies, not as clones, but fully realized simultaneous existence.
Okay.
So that is what that's like, I wouldn't say it's proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, but that's the generally accepted scholarly definition of godhood. So anything that can actually do that, anything that can actually manifest simultaneously in multiple places, fully themselves, not some copy, not some trick, not a clone that can pretend to be the same thing, or an illusion that looks like it's the same thing, or even like a miniature copies, as some people can do with their familiars. Some spellcasters can do with their familiars. Those are all independent beings. They're not the same being, and then they fade into one. But no, fully manifested. And you can understand why, of course, this would be useful for a god, because, of course, a god derives power from supplicants to a certain extent. A true god, that is, derives power from supplicants. And so the more people that are worshipping it, the more powerful it is.
And the so if there are multiple gods claiming the same title, or multiple beings claiming the same title, that then weakens all of them?
That's an excellent question. And again, I want to clarify that there's not definitive proof on this. I've done my own research as well on power, as you well know, back in the day. But, well, I would say that likely, my theory would be that one of them is truly the god, and that all people who worship the god are getting that response, and that another is claiming the title because of convenience, but actually cannot fully manifest in multiple places at once, and therefore can only deal with one supplicant at a time, and therefore aren't really gaining power from having more supplicants. They have other sources of power that they're using or manipulating in some way.
So, if a god has to use, say, for instance, people in order to do their work, is that a sign that they may not have true godhood?
Not necessarily. Many gods enter pacts with people or manipulate people to do their work. There's a lot of reasons to do so. For a long time ago, there were a group of people, very powerful people, who made it so that gods manifesting fully on this planet, Isaim, if they manifested fully upon this planet, they were killable in a way that they weren't elsewhere. They did this out of some false desire to, take down an evil god at the time. A chaos goddess was my understanding, although.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
Yes, so they did it at that time, full of good intentions. I'm certain, but a direct response to that was that gods generally were less willing to pop up here and help out. They were less willing to, and so other beings started jumping in here and taking over, pretending to be the gods, answering the calls of people in various ways, shapes, and forms. Some with the gods' blessing, some without, and it became such of a problem that the Kava blocked it all. This is what my research has certainly showed me. They built the covering to prevent more from coming in.
So, would you say that the god that is currently currently has their hands on one of my friends, would they be a true god that needs to manifest, or one of the lesser ones that cannot?
So, well, I personally don't know. Anything that's claiming to be Yemis is just by default fiendishly powerful and very scary to me, because Yemis is powerful, and so anything claiming to be it must have had their power tested and tried. What do I think of this being? There's evidence that points both ways, right? There's evidence that they were locked out of the planet by the covering. That implies that they might be one of the true gods, as the true gods were locked out of the planet by the covering. There's evidence, though, that there's another Yemis going around, and that one seems to be a little bit more wholesome or healthy. That seems to be something. But then on the flip side, there's evidence that Magli Blackice is supporting Yemis by enforcing Yemis worship of Yemis as like a state religion. And that implies that if that's a payment to her, that she wants more people worshiping her in some way, shape, or form. So I see a cavalcade of evidence on both sides, and none of the evidence is definitive. If you're asking me whether I think that you should go up against her, I would say the answer is no, because I care about you and prefer that you die. And I feel like facing a god or one of these lesser wannabe god things is scary on both fronts, and you already do that more than my liking.
That is true.
Yes.
But if this Yemis is actively working to weaken the community of Racy and of Celestra, then it doesn't seem like they're functioning as Yemis at all. It seems like they're breaking up the community. They're dividing the community.
Yes, it does seem that way. The field of godhood is a complicated one. Many gods have inverse aspects to their powers as well. We certainly see that more clearly in places like Priam. Their relationship with the gods, in many ways, is more straightforward, right? A god of life defines a god of death. That's why there's all those myths about the god of life and god of death being similar in some ways and whatnot. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're linked in some ways. The portfolios of these deities is well, it's a mess, right? It's a mess, and it's hard to tell how much of it is a mess because I mean, like, the gods are real to a certain extent. We know that they are real, and we know that they have power, and we know that the power derives partially from worshippers. But religions are not necessarily perfect reflections of the gods. So what we know is not always what we know. You know?
That's true. And, but it feels like if you ascend to godhood in any way, you should have certain rules or standards at which you have to abide by, or rules and standards at which other, the worshippers have to abide by. Like, there has to be some kind of social boundaries that protects each other.
That is 100% true. Of course, there's codes of conduct and oaths that are made, and being a god is a powerful thing to be. But of course, that much power frequently comes with a fair bit of I hesitate to say responsibility, but things that keep you locked in place. You're not freewheeling to do whatever you want all the time. But there are also ways around that, and they're gods and they're powerful, and so they can find ways around things. It's annoying. For example, to bring the point home, if you were, say, a god of, I don't know, war, but you wanted to make peace, then you couldn't make peace because your portfolio was war, as it were, but you could get someone to work for you, a mortal usually, to make peace, right? If a god of war could have easily supported Illumina Starborn, for example, and helped that whole thing go through, but because they wanted that to go through, I can't imagine why, but it's certainly possible.
Okay. No, I see that. Well, it looks like in order to, for what you said, prevent a war, which is already happening.
Inertia makes that harder to prevent.
Yes. We may need to prove that a god was working with Magli Blackice to initiate it.
Oh. Okay.
And I was wondering if there are certain rules or codes of conduct that gods are bound by regarding things like the truth. And she is going to take out her book on etiquette by A Lady of Quality, and she's going to flip to the back to the notes section where you're supposed to talk about your own, you diary your own experiences with the etiquette. And she goes, there are all these rules for socializing with each other. But I found that we're making deals with gods right and left right now. And it seems like in all these cases, we're the ones giving something to the god. We're the ones giving something up to the god in order to get power. The god is not necessarily being bound by the person helping them in some ways. They're freed by them. So I was just wondering if with your help, maybe we can have an appendix on this book and just have a talk about what the
appropriate etiquette for gods is?
What the appropriate etiquette for gods is.
You see this huge smile come across his face, and he says, "My Lady Juniper, I must admit, that is the most entertaining request that you have made of me yet." And I think that's where we will end the episode. Beginning to work on the Etiquette of Gods chapter. Okay. Thomas, I know that we thought we were going to get to another scene, but I think it's too late. I need to get some rest, and I think everyone needs to get some rest, so I think we're going to save that for another time, if that's all right. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, did we learn anything about Magli? Let's do some experience points. All that good stuff. Did we learn anything about Magli Blackice's conspirators or his co-conspirators or anything like that?
Doctor.
Hi, pretty.
Oh, Doctor B.
My face that you were switching a tail into.
Right, Blackice.
Co-conspirators, yeah.
His
We learned a lot.
conspirators, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excellent. Oh boy, did you embrace your species, class, or background in any way, shape, or form today? I am certain the answer to all of you is yes, but if you would like to nominate someone, feel free to do so. Want to nominate Sawin? What? Having a conversation with your dead
I
best
just
friend
heard something.
is embracing a background? Yeah, fine. Nominated, accepted. Do you want to nominate
Juno
You nominate Juno? For
for
what?
wizard stuff.
For wizard
I'm trying to make an etiquette book for the gods that they'll have to be bound to.
This is that level 20 shit. I'm so excited.
I love it.
I love it so much. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, it's the best thing to me. I don't know if you can tell, but like, I wrote the etiquette rules for gods for this world a while ago. And I know what they're bound by and what they're not bound by and all those things. And I am really excited to see you answer those questions and all that good stuff. That's awesome. Kaz, do you have someone that you want to nominate? Or rather, do you want to nominate Thomas, I guess?
Yeah. Yes, I do, for that whole scene with the dream sequence. That was great.
I agree. And Thomas, do you want to nominate Kaz?
Yes, I do. I think that she is definitely not utilizing, she's drawing on her background in terms of how it's going to shape her moving forward and what she's going to leave behind and what is worth keeping with her. And I think it's really sweet and amazing.
Yeah. Sounds good. I agree. Wholeheartedly. Full background episode. Everyone questing for meaning in their own lives. It was beautiful. I liked a lot of those scenes. They were all very fun. Beautiful and meaningful. Salmon, did you overcome an obstacle today?
I did.
Yeah. You want to specify one?
I guess just having that conversation with Panarin.
Yeah, I agree. Thomas, did you overcome an obstacle today?
I cannot overestimate or overstate how much I did not enjoy yelling at Blackberry. But god damn it.
Totally fair. And you won. He's got a bed. Kaz, did you overcome an obstacle today?
Yeah, though I feel like that most of the internal struggle was off screen and was just me struggling.
Yeah, no, but you told us about it on screen. And like that's I want to point out, like for me at least, that's a type of role play as well, right? Not everything has to be voices and characters. Sometimes you can literally just sit there and say, "Hey, this is what's going on in Kaz's mind. I am like she is struggling between these opposing forces that are going on, right?" Because that's not something that we necessarily would like. Kaz can't have a conversation about that, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so you tell us, and that's the same. That's also role play, right? That gets us inside too. Juno, did you overcome an obstacle today?
I think the only thing would be possibly her continuation of the putting down roots thing conversation.
Mhm.
Was
Yeah, I'll
that
take it.
wise? Yeah.
I will take that. And then right back at you, Juniper. What about beliefs? You working on your
I did the opposite.
Nice. I approve. Did you circumvent your belief and make it impossible to do?
Almost. Not quite.
Not quite. Okay.
I feel like it's impossible.
Okay. What was your
Maybe
belief?
not.
Have I forgotten?
Oh, well, the belief was to create a Habitat for Humanity type of organization.
Yeah.
And that was shut down.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's impossible.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It's not there yet. I think. Yeah. It's not a circumvention. Okay. Yeah. You totally did not do your belief. Kaz, what about you? Did you work up towards your belief at all?
I did do it. I got the food distribution and got the information.
I totally agree. Samhain.
I'm working on it. It's not completed, but I'm taking steps to do it, and I think next time I'll be able to complete it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Thomas.
Worked on it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Hold on while I do some math here. 20 plus 21 plus 18 plus 2. That's 21. Wow. I'm pretty sure that's really fast. Okay, well, by our system, that's a level.
Not necessarily. So you've got some comfort there.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not leveling, remember?
Oh, yeah, totally fair.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes, by our system, that's a level.
Oh, wow.
That feel good to everyone? Is that okay with everyone? It has been. Let me check.
It's been about like a month and a half since the last time we leveled in terms of episodes.
It has been
Maybe
4
just over a month.
So that's about right, actually. That feels good. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. You earned a level.
I get another spell slot.
Gotta love it. Okay, well, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying this as much as we are, because it is a lot of fun, and we like doing it. So hope you are enjoying. This was a very inward episode, a very middling episode feel, which I love. Just that intimate, quiet, everyone having self-doubt and beautiful moments with their loved ones. Some beautiful moments filled with anger at them not lying in a bed, and others filled with tea in our dreams. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, do good things. I've totally forgotten. What do I say? Oh yeah, and don't forget, our most important message, as always, is to call your cat and feed your mom. Bye, everyone.